The journey begins, embracing our brilliance. Every child is born with a light so radiant it could illuminate even the darkest room. For Black children, this light is a precious gift and a powerful legacy, shaped by generations of resilience, excellence, and boundless potential. Yet as they navigate a world full of challenges, stereotypes, and systemic barriers, the responsibility falls on us, parents, educators, mentors, and community members, to ensure that this light continues to shine brightly. The struggle for identity. From an early age, Black children are often met with mixed messages about their worth and potential. They are bombarded with images and narratives that either diminish their brilliance or suggest that they must conform to standards that do not honor who they are. It is not uncommon to hear stories of children who begin to doubt their abilities or question whether they belong in spaces of academic or social success. Take, for instance, 8-year-old Jalen, a curious and spirited child who dreams of becoming a scientist. His bedroom walls are adorned with pictures of galaxies, planets, and famous Black inventors. Yet, when he steps into his third-grade classroom, he finds himself treated differently, his curiosity misunderstood as disruption, and his boundless energy mistaken for a lack of focus. Jalen's light begins to dim under the weight of these misinterpretations, and his self-image becomes fragile. But it doesn't have to be this way. Affirming the greatness within, imagine if, instead, Jalen was welcomed each day with affirmations of his brilliance. Imagine if his educators understood that his enthusiasm was a strength to be nurtured, rather than a problem to be controlled. It is in these small, intentional actions that we lay the foundation for a positive self-image. Our children must be taught not only to see themselves as valuable, but also to understand the extraordinary history from which they come. They need to know about scientists like Dr. Mae Jemison, who became the first Black woman to travel into space, or about mathematicians like Dr. Katherine Johnson, whose calculations helped send astronauts to the moon. By surrounding Black children with stories of greatness, we allow them to envision a future full of limitless possibilities. The power of cultural pride. Cultural pride is one of the most powerful tools in shaping a child's self-concept. It is a deep well of strength and joy that reminds children that their roots run deep and strong. Teaching our children about their ancestors' contributions to art, science, music, and civil rights is more than just a history lesson. It is an act of empowerment. It plants seeds of confidence that can withstand the storms of prejudice and self-doubt. Consider 11-year-old Aaliyah, who once struggled to feel confident in her natural hair. Her classmates often teased her, making her feel as though her beauty was something to hide. Pause for a moment. We want to convey appropriate and positive content. If you want to accompany me, please like and subscribe to the channel. And now, I will continue telling. But one summer, Aaliyah's mother enrolled her in a program that celebrated African culture. There, she learned about the traditions of hair braiding as an art form, a practice rooted in generations of African people. By understanding the history and beauty of her natural hair, Aaliyah's perception of herself transformed. She returned to school that fall, walking taller and prouder, her light unshaken. Discipline rooted in love. Discipline is often misunderstood as a tool of control, but when approached with love and understanding, it becomes a means of teaching self-respect and self-regulation. Effective discipline is not about punishment. It is about guidance. It requires us to be patient and to model the behaviors we wish to instill. When Black children are disciplined in ways that affirm their worth, they learn to navigate the world with grace and confidence. Take Malcolm, a 5th grader with a penchant for storytelling and debate. His teachers often label him as defiant, but a thoughtful mentor realizes that his gift for words can be directed toward constructive outlets. Instead of reprimanding him harshly, she introduces him to spoken-word poetry and debate clubs. Malcolm learns discipline through passion, discovering that his voice is powerful when used with purpose. This is how we turn potential into greatness. Nurturing resilience in a world that tests it. Resilience is often spoken of as an innate quality, an unbreakable spirit that rises in the face of adversity. Yet, for our Black children, resilience is more than just a trait. It is a necessity. Every day they step into a world that challenges their self-worth, questions their abilities, and sometimes denies their full humanity. To thrive, not just survive, our children need to be armed with a resilience nurtured in love, support, and a strong sense of self. The reality of adversity. Adversity takes many forms. It could be the subtle but cutting microaggressions that children face in the classroom or on the playground. It could be the systemic inequities that leave Black schools underfunded with fewer resources and opportunities. Or it could be the lack of representation in curriculum materials, where Black stories are sidelined, making children feel unseen. Consider 12-year-old Darius, a bright student who excels in math and dreams of becoming an engineer. One day, when he raises his hand in class to explain his idea for a science project, the teacher dismisses him and calls on someone else. It's a small moment, but it lingers. Darius starts to believe his voice is not as valuable as his peers. With each incident like this, the world chips away at the belief he once had in himself. The reality is that these moments accumulate, threatening to dim the light within. But by understanding this, we can prepare and support our children so they don't internalize these messages, but instead use them as fuel to shine even brighter. Building an inner fortress. Resilience begins with the construction of an inner fortress, a strong, unshakable core built from love, knowledge, and unwavering confidence. Our role is to lay each brick of this fortress through daily affirmations, stories of strength, and a community that uplifts rather than tears down. Imagine this. Each morning, 5-year-old Maya stands in front of a mirror, her mother beside her, as they recite together, "I am smart, I am loved, I am enough." These simple words are more than a morning ritual. They are a protective shield. Over time, Maya internalizes these affirmations, and they become the foundation of her self-worth. When she later encounters a peer who questions her intelligence, Maya's inner fortress holds strong. She remembers the affirmations, her self-image unshaken. Teaching the value of history, resilience is also strengthened through a deep understanding of history. Not just the struggles, but the triumphs. When Black children learn that they come from a lineage of kings, queens, inventors, freedom fighters, and world changers, they inherit a legacy of greatness. They begin to understand that they are part of a larger story, one filled with people who faced and overcame enormous obstacles. One day in school, 6-year-old Samuel learns about George Washington Carver, a scientist and inventor who revolutionized agriculture, despite growing up enslaved. Samuel sees himself in Carver's story, the curiosity, the creativity, and the determination. Suddenly, science becomes more than just a subject. It's a path paved by someone who looked like him. Samuel realizes that even if obstacles arise, he too can make an impact. He is resilient because he knows resilience is part of his DNA. Creating safe spaces for healing. Every child needs a safe space, a place where they can express their frustrations, joys, and fears without judgment. For Black children, this is especially critical. Safe spaces can be found in the warmth of a family kitchen, the camaraderie of a local youth center, or a classroom led by a teacher who truly understands. Jada, a high school junior, finds her safe space at her church's youth group. After a long week, filled with stress and feeling out of place in her predominantly white school, she looks forward to these Sunday gatherings. Here, she can exhale, share her struggles, and be embraced by a community that uplifts her. It's in this environment that Jada learns how to process her emotions constructively, how to hold her head high in a world that sometimes pushes her down. Her resilience grows as she is reminded that she is not alone. Cultivating emotional intelligence. Resilience isn't just about standing strong. It's about understanding and managing emotions in a world that often expects Black children to suppress them. Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize and regulate one's emotions, is a skill that can empower children to handle adversity thoughtfully and calmly. Take Marcus, a 10-year-old who often struggles with anger. When he feels overlooked or unfairly treated, he reacts impulsively. His parents, recognizing this challenge, work with him to develop strategies for emotional control. They introduce him to deep breathing exercises, journaling, and using art to express his feelings. Marcus learns that his emotions are valid, but how he expresses them can make a difference. Over time, he becomes more adept at channeling his frustration into art and conversation rather than anger. His resilience is bolstered by the knowledge that his emotions do not define him. His responses do. The power of purpose, guiding our children to discover their why. Every person is born with a purpose, a unique calling that drives them to contribute meaningfully to the world. For Black children, discovering their purpose is not just about personal fulfillment. It is a journey towards self-empowerment and the potential to uplift their families and communities. In a society that may often try to dictate their future, helping our children uncover their why is one of the greatest gifts we can offer. The importance of purpose in a child's life. Purpose provides direction, motivation, and resilience. When children understand the reason behind their actions and feel a sense of meaning in their pursuits, they are more likely to persevere through difficulties. Purpose is the foundation upon which dreams are built. And for Black children, it can serve as a powerful antidote to the discouragement they may encounter. Consider 13-year-old Malik, who once struggled in school because he found little connection between the lessons and his interests. His grades began to slip and his self-esteem suffered. Then, during a community outreach event, Malik discovered a passion for environmental justice. He learned how pollution disproportionately affects Black communities and how people like him could make a difference. Suddenly, his schoolwork took on new significance. Science and math became tools he could use to fulfill his newfound purpose. Malik's motivation transformed because he now had a why that fueled his dreams. Helping children discover their passions, finding purpose often begins with understanding one's passions. Every child has unique interests that, when nurtured, can grow into something powerful. As parents, educators, and community members, it is our responsibility to observe, listen, and create opportunities for children to explore their curiosities. Take, for instance, 9-year-old Olivia, who spends hours drawing and designing clothes. Her imagination is vivid, and she dreams of becoming a fashion designer. Instead of dismissing her dreams as a childish phase, her grandmother encourages her to pursue this interest. She enrolls Olivia in an art class and introduces her to Black designers who have made their mark in the fashion world. Through these experiences, Olivia sees a future where her passion could become her purpose. She begins to believe that her designs could one day empower others and make a statement about her heritage and culture. The role of mentorship and representation. Purpose is most easily discovered when children have role models who inspire them. Representation matters. Seeing people who look like them achieve greatness in various fields helps children believe that their dreams are not only valid but attainable. Mentorship provides a roadmap, turning abstract dreams into concrete goals. Let's talk about Deshaun, a high school sophomore with a love for technology. He enjoys tinkering with gadgets but doesn't see many examples of Black engineers in his community. His mother finds a program that connects students with Black tech professionals. Through this mentorship, Deshaun meets engineers who have overcome similar obstacles, and he learns about careers in robotics and software development. These role models do more than inspire. They validate Deshaun's dreams and guide him on a path to achieving them. He realizes that his love for technology can evolve into a purpose-driven career, one where he might create solutions to help his community. Purpose beyond the individual. One of the most powerful aspects of discovering purpose is understanding that it often extends beyond the self. Black children, who grow up with a sense of community, learn that their gifts and talents can be used to uplift others. Purpose is about service, about using one's strengths to make a difference in the world. This concept is exemplified in 16-year-old Imani, a talented spoken-word artist. She loves writing poetry, but it wasn't until she performed a piece about gun violence in her neighborhood that she realized the impact her words could have. After her performance, a local activist group invited Imani to join them, giving her a platform to use her art to advocate for change. Her poetry became more than just self-expression. It became a tool for social justice. Imani discovered that her purpose lay in using her voice to speak up for those who couldn't. Encouraging purpose-driven education, our educational systems often focus on academic achievement rather than purpose-driven learning. But when children see how their studies connect to real-world issues and personal passions, education becomes a powerful tool rather than a chore. Purpose-driven education means integrating students' interests into their learning experiences and making lessons relevant to their lives. For example, in a middle school class project on renewable energy, students are tasked with designing sustainable solutions for their own communities. 11-year-old Elijah, who loves building things, becomes engrossed in the project. He learns how solar panels can reduce energy costs for families in urban areas like his. This hands-on experience awakens a passion for engineering, and Elijah starts dreaming about ways to bring green energy to his neighborhood. Purpose-driven education transformed his learning from abstract theories into a meaningful pursuit that he felt passionate about. Creating space for dreams and reflection, purpose cannot be forced. It must be discovered. Children need time and space to dream, reflect, and explore. This means creating environments where they feel free to imagine without fear of failure or judgment. It means supporting them even when their dreams evolve or change. One powerful example comes from 14-year-old Trey, who once aspired to be a professional athlete. After a knee injury sidelined him, he fell into a period of uncertainty, feeling like he'd lost his sense of purpose. But with the support of his family and coach, he began to explore other interests, eventually discovering a passion for coaching and mentorship. Trey's purpose shifted from being an athlete to inspiring others through sports. His injury became a catalyst for a new dream, one that felt just as fulfilling and impactful. The strength of community, building a village that lifts our children. In the African proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," lies a timeless truth. Raising strong, confident, and self-aware children is not the sole responsibility of parents, but a collective effort that involves extended family, neighbors, educators, and community leaders. For Black children, a supportive village serves as both a safety net and a launchpad, helping them navigate the complexities of the world while reinforcing their sense of identity and belonging. The power of collective support. Every child deserves to grow up surrounded by people who love them, believe in them, and are invested in their success. For Black children, this support system can be a source of strength and resilience, especially in a world that often devalues their worth. A strong community can provide emotional, academic, and spiritual support, ensuring that no child ever feels alone. Take the story of 7-year-old Zara, who struggles with reading in school. Her parents, determined to help her, reach out to their community. A retired teacher from their neighborhood, known lovingly as Miss Johnson, volunteers to tutor Zara twice a week. At the same time, the local library hosts a weekly reading circle for children, where Zara makes friends and discovers a love for storytelling. This community-driven effort transforms Zara's academic journey, showing her that she is supported by a network that wants her to succeed. Pause for a moment. We want to convey appropriate and positive content. If you want to accompany me, please like and subscribe to the channel. And now, I will continue telling. The lesson here is simple. When the community invests in a child, that child grows up knowing they matter, and they carry that sense of belonging wherever they go. Creating safe spaces for growth. Communities must be intentional about creating safe spaces where Black children feel seen, respected, and empowered to grow. These spaces are not only physical, such as community centers, churches, and after-school programs, but also emotional and cultural spaces where children can express themselves without fear of judgment. Consider the experience of 12-year-old Andre, who feels out of place at his predominantly white school. He is often the target of subtle racial comments and microaggressions, making him feel isolated and misunderstood. But every Friday evening, he attends a youth leadership program at his local community center, where he is surrounded by mentors and peers who uplift him. In this safe space, Andre is encouraged to share his experiences, voice his concerns, and discover his leadership potential. Here, he is celebrated for who he is, and his self-esteem flourishes. Creating these safe spaces means providing opportunities for cultural affirmation and giving Black children room to explore their identities. It's about celebrating their achievements, supporting their passions, and listening to their struggles with empathy. The role of elders and mentorship. Elders and mentors hold a special place in the village. They carry wisdom from lived experiences and serve as role models who guide and inspire the next generation. Their presence reassures children that they are part of a continuum, a lineage that has overcome adversity and achieved greatness. Imagine 15-year-old Jamal, who has a passion for music but feels unsure about pursuing it as a career. He meets Mr. Carter, a retired jazz musician who volunteers at a community music program. Mr. Carter sees Jamal's potential and takes him under his wing, sharing stories of his own journey and the challenges he overcame as a Black artist. Through this mentorship, Jamal not only refines his musical skills, but also gains a deeper appreciation for the rich history of Black music. Mr. Carter becomes more than a teacher. He becomes a guiding force who reminds Jamal of his purpose and the power of his voice. Mentorship is a cornerstone of community building, and it requires intentional investment from those who have paved the way. When Black children have mentors who genuinely care for them and model resilience and excellence, they feel inspired to chase their dreams and honor the legacy of those who came before them. Addressing community challenges together. No community is without its challenges, but when these struggles are faced together, they become opportunities for growth and unity. For Black communities, systemic issues such as poverty, underfunded schools, and racial discrimination can feel overwhelming. However, a united village works together to create solutions, advocate for change, and ensure that every child has access to opportunities. One example of this strength in action is the story of a small urban neighborhood facing food insecurity. Local families notice that the children in their area lack access to healthy meals, impacting their ability to concentrate in school. Determined to address this, community members come together to start a community garden and a weekend food program. Parents, local businesses, and volunteers contribute time, resources, and knowledge. Children learn to plant and harvest vegetables, gaining life skills and a sense of pride in their community's collective effort. This project not only provides nourishment but also strengthens the bonds between neighbors, teaching the children the importance of unity and self-reliance. Celebrating culture and heritage. A strong village celebrates its culture and heritage, passing down traditions that instill pride and a sense of identity. Cultural celebrations, family reunions, and storytelling sessions become moments of joy and connection, reminding children of their rich history and the beauty of their community. Picture 11-year-old Simone, whose grandmother tells her stories about their ancestors' journey from Africa to the United States, their struggles and triumphs, and the traditions they've preserved. Simone listens, captivated, as her grandmother shares the history of soul food, the art of quilting, and the power of music in the civil rights movement. These stories become an essential part of Simone's identity. She feels connected to her roots and inspired to continue her family's legacy of strength and creativity. Cultural celebrations are more than just events. They are affirmations of existence and resistance. When Black children participate in these traditions, they develop a deep sense of belonging and an appreciation for the resilience of their people. Supporting families within the community. A thriving village also recognizes that families are at the heart of a child's well-being. This means supporting parents and caregivers through shared resources, childcare cooperatives, and parenting workshops. When families feel supported, children thrive. In a community where parents often work long hours, neighbors like Auntie Lisa step in to help. She is known for looking after the neighborhood kids, making sure they have a safe place to do homework and play until their parents get home. Auntie Lisa organizes game nights and hosts storytelling sessions, becoming a loving extension of every family she serves. Her presence reinforces the idea that raising strong children is a collective mission, and it shows the power of shared responsibility. The art of discipline, teaching with love, respect, and purpose. Discipline is often one of the most misunderstood and controversial aspects of parenting and education. In many communities, including the Black community, discipline has historically been used as a means of survival, a way to protect children from the harsh realities of a world that often judges them unfairly. However, true discipline is not about instilling fear or asserting control. Instead, it's an art that involves guiding children with love, respect, and purpose, helping them grow into responsible, empathetic, and self-aware individuals. Discipline versus punishment. Understanding the difference. First, it is essential to distinguish between discipline and punishment. Punishment seeks to penalize for wrongdoing, often without teaching the child how to make better choices. It may temporarily stop undesirable behavior, but rarely addresses the root cause. On the other hand, discipline is rooted in the word disciple, which means to teach. It focuses on helping children understand their actions, learn from their mistakes, and develop the skills needed to make wiser decisions. For example, imagine 6-year-old Kai, who throws a tantrum in the grocery store because he can't have the candy he wants. A punitive approach might involve scolding or harshly punishing Kai, which could make him feel ashamed without understanding why his behavior was problematic. A discipline-based approach, however, might involve taking Kai aside, calming him down, and explaining why the behavior is unacceptable. The parent could then guide Kai through ways to express his feelings constructively and use the moment as an opportunity to teach patience and emotional regulation. Discipline that is rooted in love seeks to empower rather than belittle. It is about helping children develop self-discipline, a skill they will carry with them into adulthood. The role of emotional intelligence. Effective discipline is built on emotional intelligence, both in the parent or educator and the child. It starts with understanding that children's behavior is often a reflection of unmet needs or unexpressed emotions. Before reacting, adults should pause to consider what might be driving a child's behavior. Take 12-year-old Tiana, who often acts out in class. Her teacher, Mr. Lewis, notices that Tiana's disruptive behavior tends to occur right after lunch. Instead of labeling her as a problem student, he takes the time to talk with her privately. Through their conversation, he discovers that Tiana feels anxious during recess because she doesn't have many friends to play with. Mr. Lewis then works with Tiana to build friendships and provides her with supportive activities she can look forward to. By addressing the underlying cause, Mr. Lewis uses discipline, not to punish, but to teach and support Tiana's emotional well-being. Emotional intelligence requires us to put ourselves in the shoes of the child, to understand their feelings and needs, and to respond with empathy. It also involves teaching children how to name and manage their emotions, a crucial skill for developing self-control and self-awareness. Setting clear and consistent boundaries. Children need boundaries to feel safe and secure, but these boundaries should be consistent and communicated clearly. Discipline becomes confusing when expectations change based on a parent's mood or when consequences are unpredictable. Consistency helps children understand the connection between their actions and the results. Imagine 8-year-old Jada, whose bedtime is 8 p.m. on school nights. Her parents consistently enforce this rule, explaining that sleep is important for her health and learning. Jada knows what to expect, and over time, she learns to respect this boundary without pushback. However, if her bedtime changes from night to night based on how tired her parents feel, Jada becomes confused and may test the limits more frequently. Consistency does not mean rigidity, but it does require follow-through. When children understand the structure of their environment, they feel more secure and they learn to trust the adults in their lives. This trust is crucial for effective discipline. Modeling the behavior we want to see, children learn more from what we do than from what we say. If we want our children to be respectful, kind, and responsible, we must model these behaviors in our own lives. This doesn't mean we have to be perfect, but it does mean acknowledging our mistakes and demonstrating how to handle them with grace. Consider 10-year-old Marcus, who struggles with his temper. His father, who also has a short fuse, decides to lead by example. One day, when his father becomes frustrated over a work issue and raises his voice, he realizes the impact of his reaction. He later sits Marcus down and apologizes, explaining that losing his temper was not the best way to handle his frustration. He shares how he plans to work on staying calm and invites Marcus to join him in practicing deep breathing exercises when they feel upset. By modeling accountability and self-regulation, Marcus's father teaches him a powerful lesson in emotional control and humility. Children are always watching, and when they see adults taking responsibility for their actions, they are more likely to do the same. Modeling behavior helps establish mutual respect and creates a foundation of trust. Using natural consequences as teaching moments, one effective discipline strategy is allowing children to experience natural consequences when appropriate. Natural consequences are the results that naturally follow a child's actions, and they can be powerful learning tools when handled with care and empathy. For example, 14-year-old Jordan forgets to charge his tablet overnight and discovers in the morning that it's dead, meaning he can't use it for a school project. Instead of rescuing him by rushing to charge it or scolding him for being irresponsible, his parents use the moment to discuss the importance of preparation and responsibility. Jordan learns from his mistake and is more likely to remember to charge his device in the future. However, it is important to ensure that natural consequences are safe and appropriate. If a child's mistake could lead to harm, guidance and intervention are necessary. The goal is to teach children that their actions have consequences and that they have the power to make better choices next time. Discipline that honors cultural pride. Discipline in the Black community has deep roots, often influenced by the realities of historical trauma and the need for survival. While it is essential to evolve beyond the practices that were born out of fear or oppression, it is equally important to honor and uplift our cultural values. Discipline should celebrate and reinforce the cultural pride, resilience, and unity that are central to our heritage. Take the story of Grandma Ruth, who uses storytelling as a discipline tool. When her grandchildren argue, she gathers them around and tells them a story about their ancestors, how they worked together to overcome hardship, and how they leaned on each other for strength. Through these stories, Grandma Ruth instills important lessons about unity, respect, and the power of family. She reminds her grandchildren that they come from a lineage of greatness and that their actions should reflect the strength and love of those who came before them. Discipline that honors cultural pride reinforces a child's sense of belonging and identity. It teaches them that the expectations placed on them are not just for their own growth, but are part of a greater legacy they are destined to continue. Empowering through education, reclaiming the classroom for our children. Education has always been a powerful tool of liberation and self-determination, especially within the Black community. Yet, it has also been an arena where systemic inequities persist, and where our children often face unique challenges that hinder their academic success and sense of belonging. Reclaiming education means ensuring that Black children not only excel academically, but also learn in environments that respect, inspire, and empower them. The legacy of education in the Black community. The fight for educational equity is deeply woven into the fabric of Black history. From enslaved people secretly learning to read and write despite the risk of brutal punishment, to the brave children who integrated schools during the Civil Rights Movement, the pursuit of education has always been a key part of the struggle for freedom. Our ancestors knew that knowledge is power, and they made extraordinary sacrifices to ensure future generations would have access to this gift. Today, it is our responsibility to continue this legacy by advocating for quality education and by making sure that our children see learning as a tool for both personal and communal empowerment. This means not only striving for high academic achievement, but also ensuring that education affirms our children's identities and prepares them to be leaders in a world that needs their brilliance. Recognizing and addressing systemic inequities. Despite progress, Black children still face significant barriers within the education system. These include underfunded schools, biased curriculum, lower teacher expectations, and disproportionate disciplinary practices. To truly empower our children, we must first acknowledge these inequities and then actively work to change them. Take, for example, 16-year-old Akeem, who loves science and dreams of becoming a doctor. However, his school doesn't have the resources to offer advanced science courses, and he often finds himself sitting in overcrowded classrooms with outdated textbooks. Akeem's potential is not being fully nurtured because of the systemic inequities in his school district. This is the reality many Black students face, a system that too often fails to provide them with the same opportunities given to their peers in wealthier, predominantly white schools. Addressing these challenges requires collective action. It means advocating for equitable funding, supporting initiatives that aim to close the achievement gap, and holding school systems accountable for creating environments where all children can thrive. It also means engaging in the school system as parents, caregivers, and community members, attending school board meetings, forming parent-teacher coalitions, and pushing for change when necessary. Culturally relevant curriculum. One way to empower Black children in the classroom is through a culturally relevant curriculum. When students see themselves reflected in what they are learning, education becomes more meaningful and engaging. They begin to understand that their history, culture, and contributions are worthy of study and celebration. Imagine a literature class where students not only read Shakespeare and Dickens, but also explore the works of Langston Hughes, Toni Morrison, Chinua Achebe, and contemporary Black authors. Imagine a history class that doesn't start with slavery, but instead teaches about the great civilizations of Africa, the impact of the African diaspora, and the contributions of Black inventors, activists, and artists throughout history. A culturally relevant curriculum allows children to connect with the material on a deeper level and instills pride in their heritage. Consider 9-year-old Amari, who used to dread history lessons because they felt disconnected from his life. But everything changed when his teacher, Ms. Williams, began incorporating stories about the Harlem Renaissance and the Civil Rights Movement. Amari learned about people who looked like him and made significant contributions to society. Inspired, he created a project about the impact of jazz music on American culture, and for the first time, he felt excited and proud to share his work. Amari's engagement in school increased because he saw himself as part of a rich, ongoing story. High expectations and academic excellence. Black children thrive when they are held to high academic expectations and are given the support to meet them. The myth of low potential has long plagued our education system, and too often, Black students are underestimated or tracked into less rigorous academic programs. However, research consistently shows that when children are challenged and supported, they can achieve greatness. Meet 12-year-old Layla, a math enthusiast with dreams of becoming an engineer. Her teacher, Mr. Roberts, recognizes her talent and encourages her to join a math club that prepares students for national competitions. At first, Layla doubts herself, feeling the pressure of being one of the few Black students in the club. But with Mr. Roberts' encouragement and her family's support, she begins to excel, winning awards and inspiring other girls of color to pursue STEM. Mr. Roberts' high expectations and belief in Layla's abilities made all the difference in her academic journey. To empower our children, we must continue to instill a mindset of excellence. This involves encouraging them to take on academic challenges, praising their hard work and effort rather than simply their natural abilities, and connecting them with resources and mentors who can guide them. Empowering parents and caregivers. Parents and caregivers are the first and most influential teachers in a child's life. Their involvement in their child's education can dramatically impact academic outcomes. Yet, not all parents feel empowered to engage with the education system, especially if their own experiences with school were negative, or if they feel that their voices won't be heard. We must create environments where parents feel welcomed and supported. This could mean organizing workshops that help parents understand the curriculum, offering resources that explain how to advocate for their children, or creating support networks where parents can share strategies and experiences. Empowered parents lead to empowered children. Consider 5-year-old Jaden's mother, Keisha, who felt intimidated by the thought of attending PTA meetings. But when a group of local mothers formed a parent support circle, Keisha found strength and community. Together, they learned how to advocate for more diverse reading materials and spoke out about the need for culturally competent teachers. Keisha's newfound confidence not only helped improve her son's educational experience, but also inspired her to become a leader within the school community. Encouraging a love of learning outside the classroom. Education doesn't only happen within school walls. Encouraging a love of learning in everyday life can make a significant difference. This might look like visiting museums, reading books about Black history and culture, doing science experiments at home, or even exploring the world of coding through free online resources. 11-year-old Malik, for example, found his love of engineering through building model bridges with his father on the weekends. His parents made learning a fun, family-oriented activity, and Malik's curiosity blossomed. By turning learning into a joyful and ongoing process, parents and communities can instill a lifelong love of education in their children. Mentorship and academic role models. Connecting Black children with mentors who have navigated the educational system successfully can have a transformative impact. These role models can provide guidance, share personal stories of overcoming obstacles, and inspire students to believe in their potential. Take the story of Dr. Nicole Jones, a Black pediatrician who volunteers at local schools to speak about her career. When 10-year-old Aisha hears Dr. Jones talk about her journey through medical school, she starts to dream about becoming a doctor herself. The idea no longer seems distant or unattainable. Seeing someone who looks like her in a position of success plants a seed of ambition and helps Aisha visualize her own future. Mentorship programs, whether through schools, churches, or community organizations, provide invaluable support and encouragement. They remind children that their dreams are possible and that there are people willing to invest in their success. The role of faith and spirituality. Nurturing the spirit in our children. Faith and spirituality have long been a source of strength, hope, and resilience for the Black community. From the songs sung in the fields of bondage to the powerful sermons that inspired movements for civil rights, spirituality has served as both a guiding light and a unifying force. For many Black families, instilling a sense of spiritual grounding in children is a way of nurturing the whole being, mind, body, and spirit. It is about providing a moral compass, a source of comfort, and a deep understanding of one's place in a world that is larger than oneself. The historical significance of faith. To understand the importance of faith and spirituality in the Black community, one must first acknowledge the deep historical roots that have made it so central to the collective experience. During slavery, spirituality was a means of survival. Enslaved people created spirituals that carried messages of hope, resilience, and the promise of deliverance. Churches became places of refuge where people could gather to worship, share news, and find strength in one another. The Black church was, and continues to be, a cornerstone of the community. A place where faith is not only practiced but lived through acts of service and activism. For our children, understanding this legacy is crucial. It helps them see that faith is just about religious practices, but also about a long tradition of perseverance, community, and moral courage. By teaching them about this spiritual heritage, we give them a powerful framework for navigating their own challenges and finding a sense of purpose. Introducing children to spirituality. Introducing children to faith and spirituality does not necessarily mean adhering to one religious belief or practice. It is about helping them connect with something greater than themselves and teaching them the values that will guide them throughout their lives. This can be done in a variety of ways, depending on a family's religious or spiritual beliefs. Take 6-year-old Isaiah, who attends Sunday services with his grandmother. He listens to the choir sing with passion, watches as people bow their heads in prayer, and hears stories from the Bible that teach lessons about kindness, courage, and forgiveness. Isaiah's grandmother uses these moments to talk to him about faith, explaining how prayer can be a way to find peace and strength. She tells him that God has given him a purpose and that he is loved beyond measure. These experiences give Isaiah a sense of belonging and spiritual grounding. For some families, spirituality may be found in nature, meditation, or cultural practices that honor their ancestors. 8-year-old Talia, for example, learns about spirituality through rituals passed down from her Caribbean heritage. Her parents teach her to honor her ancestors through prayer and storytelling, and they emphasize the importance of respecting the earth and all living things. Spirituality for Talia is a way to feel connected to her roots and to understand that she is part of a greater, interconnected world. Teaching values through faith. One of the greatest gifts that faith and spirituality can offer is a clear set of values. These values, love, compassion, forgiveness, humility, and justice, become guiding principles for children as they grow and make decisions. Teaching these values is about modeling them in everyday life and using spiritual teachings as a foundation. Consider 12-year-old Jasmine, who is faced with the dilemma of whether to stand up for a friend being bullied at school. Her parents have always taught her the importance of justice and standing up for what is right, values rooted in their Christian faith. Jasmine remembers hearing a sermon about the Good Samaritan, a story that taught her to care for those in need, even when it is difficult. Inspired by these teachings, Jasmine decides to defend her friend, even though she knows it won't be easy. Her faith gives her the courage to act in line with her values. Faith can also teach children about forgiveness and the power of healing. 10-year-old Malik struggles with anger after a close friend betrays his trust. His mother talks to him about forgiveness, using stories from their faith tradition to illustrate how holding on to anger can hurt him more than it hurts anyone else. She encourages Malik to pray for strength and healing, reminding him that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, but releasing the hold that pain has over his heart. Malik learns that through faith, he can find peace even in difficult situations. Creating spiritual rituals and traditions. Rituals and traditions are powerful tools for teaching children about faith and spirituality. They provide a sense of continuity, rhythm, and comfort in a world that can often feel unpredictable. These rituals can be as simple as bedtime prayers, weekly family gratitude circles, or lighting candles on special occasions to honor loved ones. In 11-year-old Caleb's household, Friday evenings are reserved for family reflection. Before dinner, his family gathers to share something they are grateful for and to discuss any challenges they faced during the week. His father leads a short prayer, asking for guidance and protection for the week ahead. This ritual not only strengthens their bond as a family, but also teaches Caleb the importance of gratitude and reflection. It becomes a spiritual anchor that helps him approach life's ups and downs with grace. Pause for a moment. We want to convey appropriate and positive content. If you want to accompany me, please like and subscribe to the channel. And now, I will continue telling. Traditions also give children something to look forward to. For families who celebrate Kwanzaa, the 7 principles, unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith, become a way to reinforce important values while celebrating Black culture. Lighting the Kinara and discussing each principle allows children to understand the beauty and power of their heritage and the role of spirituality in building a strong, supportive community. Finding comfort and strength in spiritual practices. Life is full of challenges, and for Black children, these challenges can sometimes feel overwhelming. Faith and spirituality provide a source of comfort and a reminder that they are never truly alone. Spiritual practices, whether they involve prayer, meditation, or reflection, give children a space to process their emotions and find strength. 14-year-old Layla often feels anxious about the future, especially when she hears about injustice in the news. Her mother teaches her to meditate and to use deep breathing as a way to calm her mind. They practice together, focusing on a mantra: I am strong, I am loved, I am safe. Layla learns that in moments of fear or uncertainty, she can turn inward and find peace. Her spirituality becomes a refuge, a place where she can feel grounded and empowered. For some children, faith also means understanding that challenges can be opportunities for growth. When 15-year-old Tariq faces rejection after not making the basketball team, he feels devastated. His grandfather reminds him that God has a plan, even if it's not always clear at the moment. He shares stories from his own life about how setbacks led to new opportunities he never expected. Tariq finds solace in his grandfather's wisdom and begins to see his disappointment as a stepping stone rather than a dead end. Community and spiritual fellowship. Faith and spirituality often flourish in community settings, where shared beliefs and practices create a sense of unity and belonging. Attending religious services, participating in youth groups, or volunteering through faith-based organizations can give children a strong support network and the understanding that they are part of something greater. 16-year-old Jada finds community through her church's youth choir. Singing with her peers gives her a sense of joy and connection, and she loves being part of a group that uses music to uplift and inspire the congregation. The choir becomes her second family, a place where she can be herself and where she feels surrounded by love and encouragement. When she struggles with self-doubt, her choir director reminds her that her voice is a gift meant to be shared. The fellowship Jada experiences strengthens her faith and gives her a deeper appreciation for the role of spirituality in her life. Celebrating Black joy, the power of laughter, play, and cultural expression. Amid the challenges and adversities that Black children often face, one of the most radical and necessary acts of resistance is the celebration of joy. Black joy is not just a fleeting emotion, but a deep transformative force that carries the power to heal, inspire, and uplift. It is the laughter shared among friends, the pride felt in cultural traditions, and the freedom found in moments of pure happiness. In a world that often seeks to overshadow our brilliance with pain, teaching our children to celebrate and prioritize joy is an act of self-love and resilience. Why Black joy matters. For generations, Black communities have used joy as a form of resistance. Despite systemic oppression, families and communities have gathered to dance, laugh, create, and express themselves fully and unapologetically. This joy is a testament to the strength and beauty of Black culture. It reminds us that even in the face of struggle, we have the right to experience happiness and to embrace the richness of our heritage. For Black children, joy is both a source of empowerment and a tool for building self-confidence. It allows them to experience life in all its fullness, to feel safe and loved, and to understand that their lives are meant to be celebrated. By prioritizing joy, we teach our children that they are more than their hardships, that they are worthy of happiness, love, and boundless opportunities to thrive. Creating spaces for play and imagination. One of the purest forms of joy in childhood comes from play. Through imaginative play, children learn about themselves, explore the world around them, and express their creativity without limitation. Unfortunately, for many Black children, opportunities for safe and carefree play are not always readily available. It is crucial to create environments where children can be free to run, laugh, and dream. Imagine 7-year-old Elijah, who loves to pretend he is a superhero, saving the world from imaginary villains with his best friends. In these moments, he is fearless, powerful, and limitless. His parents encourage his imagination by taking him to the local park, organizing playdates with other children, and filling his room with books about Black superheroes and adventurers. Through play, Elijah learns that his mind is a place of endless possibilities, and his joy becomes a shield against the negativity he may encounter. Play is not frivolous, it is essential. It fosters problem-solving skills, emotional intelligence, and a sense of wonder. By making space for play, we give our children the gift of joy and the freedom to dream. The healing power of laughter. Laughter is medicine for the soul, and for Black children it can be a powerful antidote to stress, fear, and trauma. Shared laughter strengthens family bonds, builds friendships, and creates lasting memories. It is a reminder that even in difficult times, moments of joy are still within reach. Take 10-year-old Ava and her father, who have a tradition of having a silly dance-off in the kitchen every Saturday morning. They blast their favorite songs, make up ridiculous dance moves, and laugh until their sides hurt. These moments of shared laughter are more than just fun. They are a reminder of the love that surrounds Ava. They give her a sense of security and remind her that no matter what happens outside of her home, she has a place where she is cherished and where joy is always welcome. For families facing hardships, finding ways to laugh together can be a source of healing and resilience. Whether it's watching a funny movie, playing a game, or sharing jokes at the dinner table, laughter is a way to bring light into even the darkest days. Celebrating cultural traditions. One of the most beautiful ways to cultivate joy in Black children is through the celebration of cultural traditions. These traditions connect children to their roots, instill pride in their heritage, and create a sense of belonging. Whether it's through food, music, dance, art, or language, celebrating culture is a way to affirm the beauty and richness of Black identity. Consider 12-year-old Amara, who looks forward to her family's annual Juneteenth celebration. Her entire extended family gathers for a day of food, music, and storytelling. Amara loves helping her grandmother prepare soul food dishes that have been passed down through generations. She watches in awe as her uncles play the drums, filling the air with rhythms that make her heart race. These moments remind Amara that she is part of a legacy of strength, love, and joy. She feels deeply connected to her ancestors and proud of her culture. Cultural celebrations are more than just events. They are acts of remembrance, honor, and pride. By participating in these traditions, Black children learn to celebrate who they are and where they come from, and they carry that pride with them throughout their lives. Expressing joy through art and creativity, art has always been a powerful form of expression in Black culture. From the spirituals sung by enslaved people to the poetry of the Harlem Renaissance and the modern hip-hop movement. Encouraging children to express themselves through art, whether it be painting, writing, music, or dance, gives them a powerful outlet for joy and creativity. 13-year-old Malik, for example, loves to paint. When he feels overwhelmed by the world, he retreats to his art studio, a corner of his room filled with canvases and paint supplies. There, he loses himself in colors and shapes, creating vibrant pieces that reflect his emotions. His parents make sure to support his passion by taking him to art museums and entering his work in local exhibitions. Through his art, Malik finds joy and a sense of purpose. Artistic expression allows Black children to tell their stories, share their perspectives, and find healing. It gives them a sense of agency, showing them that their voices and creativity matter. By fostering a love of the arts, we give our children the tools to explore and celebrate the depth of their joy. Building communities that celebrate joy. Communities play a crucial role in the celebration of Black joy. When communities come together to uplift and support one another, they create a network of love and celebration that benefits everyone. Block parties, community festivals, and neighborhood gatherings are not just events. They are affirmations of collective resilience and strength. One example is the annual summer festival held in 10-year-old Jalen's neighborhood. Families gather to enjoy music, dance performances, food trucks featuring cuisines from across the African diaspora, and art exhibitions created by local youth. Jalen spends the day laughing with friends, trying new foods, and feeling a deep sense of pride in his community. The festival is a reminder that, despite the challenges the neighborhood may face, there is still so much beauty, talent, and love to celebrate. When communities prioritize joy, they create environments where children feel safe, inspired, and supported. These celebrations become the fabric of their childhood memories, experiences that shape them into hopeful and confident individuals. Joy as resistance. Perhaps most importantly, Black joy is a form of resistance. It is a way of reclaiming humanity in a world that often seeks to dehumanize. By teaching our children to embrace joy, we arm them with a powerful weapon against negativity and oppression. We show them that their happiness, laughter, and pride are not only valid, but vital. 15-year-old Kendra, a young activist passionate about social justice, often feels weighed down by the harsh realities she sees in the world. But she learns from her mother that even in the struggle, there must be room for joy. They make time for self-care, dance parties, and moments of celebration. Kendra realizes that joy does not negate the fight for justice, it fuels it. It reminds her of what she is fighting for, a world where every Black child can live freely and joyfully. Building self-confidence. Helping our children believe in their own brilliance. Self-confidence is the foundation on which a child builds their dreams, faces challenges, and ultimately thrives in life. For Black children, developing a strong sense of self-confidence is especially crucial, as they often encounter negative messages from society that can erode their self-worth. As parents, educators, and community members, it is our duty to reinforce their innate brilliance, remind them of their limitless potential, and arm them with the self-assurance to navigate the world with pride and resilience. The roots of self-confidence. Self-confidence begins at home. From the moment a child is born, they look to their caregivers for cues about their worth and place in the world. The words we speak, the actions we model, and the love we give create a foundation of belief in their abilities. Children learn to trust themselves and take risks when they feel secure and valued. Imagine 4-year-old Zion, who is learning to ride a bike without training wheels for the first time. His mother stands by his side, cheering him on, even when he falls. Instead of focusing on his mistakes, she praises his bravery for trying again. With each attempt, Zion gains more confidence, fueled by the knowledge that someone believes in him. When he finally takes off, pedaling with a big smile on his face, his self-confidence soars. He learns that it's okay to stumble, as long as he keeps trying. Our children need to hear that they are capable and deserving of success. They need to know that we see their potential, even when they doubt themselves. The simple act of believing in our children and voicing that belief can have a profound impact on their self-assurance. Affirming their identity, self-confidence, is deeply tied to a child's sense of identity. For Black children, this means teaching them to love and be proud of who they are. In a world that sometimes sends messages that their skin, hair, or culture are less than, affirming their identity becomes a revolutionary act of love. Take 6-year-old Naomi, who begins to question her beauty when she notices that most of the dolls in her classroom have straight hair and light skin. Her parents make it a point to fill their home with books, artwork, and dolls that reflect Naomi's rich heritage and unique features. They teach her to embrace her curls, her beautiful brown skin, and the history behind them. Naomi's grandmother even shares stories of their ancestors, weaving tales of strength and resilience. Naomi grows up seeing herself reflected in the world around her, and her self-confidence is nurtured by the knowledge that she is beautiful and powerful just the way she is. Affirming identity is about more than words. It's about representation, education, and intentional actions that reinforce a child's self-worth. When Black children see positive images of themselves in the media, in their communities, and in their history books, they begin to understand that their identity is something to be celebrated. Encouraging a growth mindset, self-confidence flourishes when children believe that their abilities can grow with effort, practice, and perseverance. This concept, known as a growth mindset, teaches children that challenges are opportunities to learn and that failure is a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Consider 12-year-old Jordan, who dreams of becoming an architect but struggles with math. When he receives a poor grade on a test, he feels discouraged and begins to think he's not smart enough to achieve his dream. But his teacher, Mrs. Thompson, intervenes. She explains that intelligence is not fixed and that he can improve with hard work and the right strategies. She offers extra help after school and celebrates his progress, no matter how small. Jordan begins to see his setbacks as challenges to overcome, not as signs of defeat. His self-confidence grows as he learns to embrace his mistakes and keep pushing forward. Teaching children to have a growth mindset means reframing their failures as learning experiences and praising their effort, not just their achievements. It means modeling resilience and sharing our own stories of how we overcame obstacles. When children understand that their potential is limitless, they approach life with curiosity and confidence. Celebrating achievements, big and small, no matter how small, reinforces self-confidence. It shows children that their hard work and dedication are valued. These celebrations don't need to be grand. Sometimes, a simple acknowledgement of effort is enough to make a child feel seen and proud. Consider 9-year-old Mia, who finally learns how to play a difficult piano piece after weeks of practice. Her family gathers around, clapping and cheering as she performs. Her father records the moment on his phone, and her mother surprises her with her favorite treat. Mia's smile lights up the room. This celebration not only boosts her confidence, but also reinforces the idea that her perseverance is worth it. She learns that her accomplishments matter, and she feels motivated to keep pursuing her passions. Sometimes the most meaningful celebrations are those that highlight a child's character rather than their external achievements. When a child shows kindness to a classmate or stands up for what they believe in, recognizing these moments can help build a strong sense of self-worth rooted in values. Teaching the power of positive self-talk. Our children's inner voices have a powerful impact on their self-confidence. Teaching them to practice positive self-talk can help them navigate challenges and silence self-doubt. Children should learn to speak to themselves with the same kindness and encouragement they would offer a friend. 10-year-old Jaden often gets nervous before soccer games, fearing he will let his team down. His mother teaches him a simple mantra to repeat. I am strong. I am prepared. I can do this. Jaden learns to calm his nerves by replacing his worries with words of affirmation. Over time, he begins to trust himself more, and his confidence on the field grows. Even when he makes a mistake, he reminds himself that he is capable and worthy. Positive self-talk is a skill that can be practiced and developed over time. Encouraging children to write down affirmations, keep a gratitude journal, or practice mindful breathing can help them manage anxiety and believe in their abilities. Creating opportunities for leadership. When children are given opportunities to lead, they develop a sense of responsibility and pride in their abilities. Leadership can come in many forms, from taking charge of a group project at school to helping plan a family event or volunteering in the community. 13-year-old Kumari feels empowered when he is chosen to be the captain of his school's debate team. At first, he doubts whether he is ready for the role, but his coach believes in him and gives him the tools to succeed. Kumari learns to manage his nerves, make decisions confidently, and support his teammates. The experience transforms his self-confidence, teaching him that he has the ability to lead and inspire others. Creating opportunities for leadership also means encouraging children to use their voices. When they feel empowered to share their ideas and opinions, they learn that their thoughts matter. Whether it's advocating for change in their school or helping a younger sibling, every act of leadership reinforces the message that they are capable of making a difference. Protecting self-confidence from negative influences. In a world where Black children may face prejudice, discrimination, or negative stereotypes, it's important to equip them with strategies to protect their self-confidence. This might involve teaching them how to handle hurtful comments, how to assert themselves, or how to seek support when needed. 15-year-old Olivia encounters microaggressions from peers who question her intelligence or make assumptions about her background. Her parents teach her that she does not have to internalize these messages. They role-play scenarios, helping her practice assertive responses, and remind her that the opinions of others do not define her worth. Olivia learns to stand tall, knowing that she is not alone and that her self-worth comes from within. Building a strong support system is key. When children know they have a community of people who believe in them, they are better able to withstand negative influences. This community can include family, friends, mentors, teachers, and faith-based groups who uplift and encourage them. The role of mentors in building confidence. Mentors can play a transformative role in a child's self-confidence. A mentor is someone who takes the time to see a child's potential, provides guidance, and models the confidence they wish to instill. For Black children, having a mentor who understands their unique challenges and can offer culturally relevant support is invaluable. 14-year-old Aaliyah dreams of becoming a lawyer, but she feels intimidated by the idea of entering a field where she rarely sees people who look like her. Her mentor, a successful Black attorney, takes her under her wing. She shares her own journey, from law school struggles to courtroom victories, and reminds Aaliyah that her dreams are attainable. With her mentor's encouragement, Aaliyah begins to believe in her own capabilities and sets her sights even higher. Mentorship is about more than career guidance. It is about empowering children to dream without limits. When Black children see role models who have achieved greatness, it inspires them to believe in their own potential. Building a legacy of excellence. Preparing our children to change the world. Every generation carries the hope of creating a better future for the ones that follow. For Black children, building a legacy of excellence is about more than individual achievement. It is about uplifting the community, honoring the past, and paving the way for those who will come after. As parents, educators, and mentors, our mission is to prepare our children not only to excel, but also to lead with purpose and a vision for positive change. We do this by instilling values, teaching them to embrace opportunities, and helping them understand the power of their potential to shape the world. The meaning of legacy. Legacy is more than material wealth or professional success. It is the impact we leave behind. For the Black community, this legacy has always included resilience, cultural pride, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Teaching children about this legacy empowers them to see themselves as part of something much bigger. A generational story full of triumph, strength, and progress. From the ingenuity of Black inventors who changed the course of history to the courage of activists who fought for civil rights, our children must understand that they come from a lineage of greatness. They should know that they are the inheritors of a rich cultural legacy and that they have a role to play in carrying it forward. Take 14-year-old Khalil, who once felt uncertain about his place in the world. But when he learned about the extraordinary contributions of Black pioneers like Katherine Johnson, Thurgood Marshall, and Bessie Coleman, he began to realize the greatness he could achieve. His history teacher challenged him to think about how he wanted to leave his own mark on the world. Khalil began to dream of becoming an aerospace engineer, inspired by the legacy of those who defied expectations. His self-image transformed as he saw himself as part of this story, ready to make his own impact. Emphasizing the importance of education, education has always been central to building a legacy of excellence. Our ancestors understood that education is a pathway to empowerment, and they fought tirelessly to ensure future generations would have access to knowledge and opportunity. Today, we must continue this fight, emphasizing to our children that education is not just a means to an end, but a way to equip themselves with the tools to change the world. For 9-year-old Simone, this lesson came in the form of a family tradition. Each year, her parents took her to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, where she marveled at the exhibits of Black educators, scientists, and artists. Her parents explained that education had opened doors for so many people before her, and that she had the potential to do the same. Inspired, Simone began to see her studies not as chores, but as stepping stones to achieving her dreams. Beyond formal education, we must teach our children to be lifelong learners, curious about the world around them. Encouraging critical thinking, a love for reading, and an interest in exploring new ideas helps build a foundation for excellence that extends beyond the classroom. Developing leadership skills. Leaders are not born. They are developed through experience, guidance, and the belief that they have the power to inspire and create change. Teaching Black children to be leaders means helping them cultivate skills like effective communication, empathy, strategic thinking, and a commitment to serving others. Consider 11-year-old Malik, who struggled with shyness and self-doubt. His parents enrolled him in a leadership camp where he learned how to give public speeches, lead group projects, and resolve conflicts. He was mentored by older teens who had once been in his shoes, and he began to see himself as a capable and inspiring leader. Malik later organized a community cleanup day, rallying friends and neighbors to make a difference in their environment. His confidence grew as he realized that leadership was not about being the loudest voice, but about lifting others and taking action. Leadership also means understanding that every child has a unique style of leading. Some children may lead through quiet determination, while others may inspire through creative expression or activism. Our role is to nurture their strengths, encourage them to take initiative, and support them as they develop their leadership identity. Fostering a spirit of service. A legacy of excellence is incomplete without a spirit of service. Teaching children to give back to their community instills in them a sense of responsibility and a deeper connection to those around them. Service is about understanding that true success is measured not just by personal accomplishments, but by the impact one has on the world. 14-year-old Maya always loved to bake, and her parents encouraged her to use her passion to make a difference. She started a small initiative called Baking for Change, where she sold her baked goods and donated the profits to a local food pantry. Maya learned the joy of using her talents to uplift others, and her small act of service inspired her friends to find ways to give back as well. Through this experience, she understood that she had the power to make her community a better place. Opportunities for service can be as simple as volunteering at a local shelter, participating in community improvement projects, or mentoring younger children. By normalizing service, we teach Black children that they have a responsibility to uplift others and contribute to a more just and compassionate world. Teaching the importance of financial literacy. Building a legacy of excellence also involves preparing children to make wise financial decisions. Understanding how to manage money, invest, save, and build wealth is crucial for ensuring that future generations have the resources they need to thrive. Financial literacy empowers Black children to break cycles of poverty and to contribute to economic stability within their communities. 13-year-old Jalen's parents started teaching him about money by giving him a small allowance and encouraging him to divide it into 3 jars: saving, spending, and giving. Over time, Jalen learned the value of budgeting and investing. His father also introduced him to the idea of generational wealth and explained how wise financial choices could benefit his future family. Jalen began to dream of starting a business that could support his community and create job opportunities for others. Understanding financial literacy gave him the confidence to think about his future with a sense of possibility. Financial literacy also means teaching children about entrepreneurship and the importance of supporting Black-owned businesses. When children see examples of successful entrepreneurs who look like them, they begin to envision themselves as future business leaders and innovators. Embracing global awareness, we live in a global society, and preparing our children to be change-makers means encouraging them to think beyond their immediate surroundings. Teaching Black children about different cultures, global challenges, and opportunities for international collaboration helps them see themselves as citizens of the world. 10-year-old Amina discovered her passion for global issues when her aunt, who worked for a nonprofit organization, introduced her to the concept of clean water access. Amina learned about children in other countries who didn't have access to safe drinking water, and she decided to host a fundraiser at her school. Her awareness of global issues sparked a desire to make a difference beyond her community, and she started exploring ways to continue learning and contributing to causes she cared about. Global awareness can be fostered through travel, exposure to different languages and customs, and discussions about current events. By encouraging children to see the world as interconnected, we teach them that their actions can have a far-reaching impact. Encouraging innovation and creativity, building a legacy of excellence, means teaching children to think outside the box and to embrace innovation. Black history is full of examples of inventors, artists, and scientists who revolutionized the world with their ideas. We must inspire our children to explore their creativity, experiment without fear of failure, and dream big. 13-year-old Isaiah loved technology and dreamed of inventing something that would change the world. His parents encouraged his curiosity by enrolling him in a coding camp, where he learned to build apps and design software. Isaiah's first project was an app that connected volunteers with local charities, inspired by his desire to give back. His parents made sure he knew that his ideas mattered and that innovation was within his reach. Isaiah's confidence grew as he began to see himself as a young innovator capable of making a difference. Creativity should be celebrated in all its forms, from science and technology to art and performance. By providing children with opportunities to explore their interests, we nurture their ability to think creatively and to view challenges as opportunities for innovation. Cultivating hope for the future. Perhaps the most important part of building a legacy of excellence is cultivating hope. Our children must believe that their future is full of possibilities and that they have the power to shape it. Hope is not just a feeling. It is an action, a decision to keep dreaming, working, and believing, even in the face of obstacles. 12-year-old Layla struggled with anxiety about the future, especially as she witnessed racial injustices and environmental crises in the world. Her grandmother, a civil rights activist, taught her that hope is a tool for change. She shared stories of the struggles and victories of the past, reminding Layla that progress often starts with a small spark of hope. Layla began to channel her anxiety into action, joining youth activism groups and learning to use her voice to advocate for a better world. She learned that hope is not passive, it is active and powerful. When we cultivate hope in our children, we give them the courage to dream of a better world and the motivation to work toward it. We teach them that they are the architects of their future and that their potential is boundless. The power of love and affirmation. Uplifting our children with unconditional support. At the heart of every child's development is the need to feel loved and affirmed. Love is the most profound gift we can give our children, and it is the foundation on which they build their self-worth, identity, and sense of security. For Black children, this love must be intentional, deep, and unwavering, as it serves as a shield against a world that may not always treat them with kindness or fairness. By surrounding our children with affirmation and unconditional support, we empower them to face the world with courage, pride, and a steadfast belief in their worth. The transformative power of unconditional love. Unconditional love is the assurance that a child is valued and cherished for who they are, not just for what they achieve. It is the kind of love that remains constant in moments of success and failure, joy and sorrow. For Black children who may feel the weight of societal expectations and stereotypes, this love is a crucial anchor that keeps them grounded and secure. Pause for a moment. We want to convey appropriate and positive content. If you want to accompany me, please like and subscribe to the channel. And now, I will continue telling. Consider 6-year-old Jackson who comes home from school feeling defeated after struggling with a difficult math problem. He expects his parents to be disappointed, but instead, his mother wraps him in a warm hug and says, "I love you, no matter what." Your value doesn't come from getting everything right. It comes from your heart, your kindness, and your willingness to keep trying. Jackson's tears turn to relief, and his confidence slowly rebuilds as he realizes that his worth is not tied to his performance, but to the person he is. Unconditional love does not mean that we ignore or excuse mistakes. It means that we provide guidance and discipline from a place of care rather than criticism. It is about creating a safe space where children know they are loved, even when they fall short, and where they feel free to explore who they are without fear of judgment. The role of affirmation in building self-esteem. Affirmation is the act of lifting up our children with words and actions that reinforce their value and potential. It is about speaking life into their dreams, reminding them of their brilliance, and helping them see themselves as capable, beautiful, and worthy. Affirmation is especially powerful for Black children, who may face messages that seek to diminish their self-worth. Take the story of 8-year-old Layla, who is teased by her classmates for her dark skin. The hurtful words make her question her beauty, but her father makes it his mission to affirm her every day. He tells her, "Your skin is a gift, a testament to the strength and resilience of our people. You are stunning, just the way you are." He reads books with her that celebrate Black beauty and fills their home with images of powerful, confident Black women. Over time, Layla's confidence grows, and she begins to see herself through a lens of pride rather than pain. The power of her father's affirmations becomes a protective shield, one that helps her navigate a world that may not always see her worth. Affirmations can be as simple as telling children, "I believe in you, you are strong," or "you have a voice that matters." They can also involve recognizing and celebrating their achievements, both big and small. When children hear these words regularly, they begin to internalize them and develop a strong sense of self that is not easily shaken. Modeling self-love and self-compassion. Children learn how to love themselves by watching the adults around them. If we model self-love and self-compassion, we teach our children that it is okay to be imperfect and that they deserve kindness, even from themselves. This is especially important in a society that often places immense pressure on Black children to excel and to prove their worth. Consider 12-year-old Amari, who has always seen his mother push herself to be perfect. She rarely takes breaks and often criticizes herself when things don't go as planned. Amari begins to adopt this same pattern, becoming harsh with himself whenever he makes a mistake. One day, his mother decides to make a change. She starts practicing self-care and speaks kindly to herself in front of Amari, even when things go wrong. She explains to him that loving herself is a way of honoring the gift of life and that it is okay to rest and be gentle with oneself. Amari begins to see that self-love is a powerful and necessary practice, and he starts treating himself with the same compassion. When adults model self-love, they give children permission to be human. They teach them that they are worthy of rest, joy, and grace. This is a lesson that will serve them for the rest of their lives, helping them navigate challenges without losing their sense of worth. Creating a home filled with love and affirmation. A loving home is one where children feel safe, cherished, and supported. It is a place where they can express their emotions freely, knowing they will be met with empathy and understanding. Creating this kind of environment requires intentional effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. For 11-year-old Kayla, home is her sanctuary. Her parents make time for family dinners, where everyone shares the best and most challenging parts of their day. They play games together, laugh, and create rituals that strengthen their bond. When Kayla feels overwhelmed by school or friendships, she knows she can come home and be surrounded by people who love her unconditionally. This sense of safety allows her to be brave in the world, knowing that she always has a place to land. Creating a home filled with love and affirmation doesn't require perfection, it requires presence. It's about being there for our children, listening to them, and showing up with kindness, even on the hardest days. It's about building traditions, celebrating milestones, and reminding our children that they are deeply loved. The importance of listening and validation. One of the most powerful ways to show love and affirmation is to listen to our children. Active listening involves giving them our full attention, without interrupting or rushing to offer solutions. It means validating their feelings, even when we don't fully understand or agree with them. For Black children, who may feel silenced or dismissed by the world, being truly heard is an essential part of feeling valued. 15-year-old Marcus often feels frustrated when he talks about the racial discrimination he sees at his school. He feels like adults brush off his concerns, telling him that he's being overly sensitive. But his uncle takes a different approach. He sits down with Marcus and says, "I hear you. Your feelings are valid. Let's talk about what you're experiencing." Marcus feels a weight lift off his shoulders, knowing that someone cares enough to listen without judgment. His uncle's willingness to listen gives Marcus the confidence to keep advocating for himself and others. Validation does not mean agreeing with everything a child says, but it does mean acknowledging their emotions and experiences as real and worthy of respect. It helps children feel understood and strengthens their sense of self. Teaching children to set boundaries and protect their energy. Part of loving and affirming our children is teaching them to protect their energy and set boundaries. This includes understanding that they do not have to accept negative treatment from others, and that it is okay to distance themselves from situations or people that harm their well-being. 10-year-old Naomi, for example, has a friend who constantly puts her down. Her parents notice the impact on her self-esteem and teach her the importance of setting boundaries. They role-play different ways Naomi can assert herself, and they affirm that her feelings are valid. Naomi learns that protecting her peace is an act of self-love and that she deserves to surround herself with people who uplift her. This lesson becomes a powerful tool, one she carries with her into adolescence and beyond. Setting boundaries is a skill that many adults struggle with, but teaching it early helps children develop a healthy sense of self-respect. It empowers them to take charge of their well-being and to prioritize relationships that nurture their growth. Using love to inspire greatness. When children are loved and affirmed, they are inspired to be their best selves. Love motivates them to work hard, pursue their dreams, and contribute positively to their community. It fuels their desire to use their gifts and talents to make a difference in the world. 16-year-old Tiana is a passionate artist who wants to use her work to tell stories of resilience and hope in the Black community. Her parents have always nurtured her creativity, providing her with art supplies and encouraging her to share her vision. They attend her gallery showings, celebrate her accomplishments, and remind her that her voice matters. Tiana's art is infused with the love and affirmation she has received, and she uses her platform to uplift others. She knows that her family's belief in her has given her the courage to pursue her passion. Love inspires excellence, not through pressure or expectation, but through the knowledge that children have a strong foundation to stand on. When they know they are loved, they are willing to take risks, dream big, and reach for greatness. Cultivating resilience, equipping our children to rise strong. Resilience is the ability to withstand and grow from life's difficulties. For Black children, cultivating resilience is not just a useful skill, but a survival mechanism that empowers them to face a world that can often be unjust. Yet, resilience is not simply about enduring hardship. It is about finding strength in community, leaning on the wisdom of those who have come before, and using challenges as stepping stones toward a brighter future. Teaching children to embrace challenges. Part of building resilience is teaching children to view challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. This mindset doesn't minimize the pain or difficulty of life's struggles, but it does encourage children to approach problems with a sense of empowerment. 12-year-old Amir struggled when his basketball team lost a crucial championship game. He felt defeated and questioned his abilities. His coach, Mr. Lewis, sat down with him and said, "Amir, you're allowed to be disappointed, but don't let this moment define you. Let it make you stronger." Together, they reviewed what Amir could learn from the experience and set goals for next season. Amir realized that resilience is about getting back up, learning from failure, and continuing to work hard. His confidence grew, not because he won every game, but because he learned how to persevere. Teaching children to embrace challenges means validating their feelings while also encouraging a forward-thinking approach. It's about reminding them that they are capable of overcoming difficulties, even when the path is not easy. The role of self-care in resilience. Resilience also requires self-care. Teaching Black children to care for their emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being is a crucial part of equipping them for life's ups and downs. Self-care can take many forms: journaling, exercising, meditating, or simply taking a moment to breathe and reset. Take the story of 14-year-old Brianna, who feels overwhelmed by her school workload and social pressures. Her mother introduces her to the practice of mindful breathing and encourages her to keep a gratitude journal. At first, Brianna is skeptical, but she soon discovers that these small acts of self-care help her manage stress and feel more centered. She learns that taking care of herself is not a luxury, but a necessity. Resilience, she realizes, comes from having the tools to recharge and stay strong in the face of challenges. Self-care is about teaching children that it's okay to pause, to rest, and to prioritize their well-being. It's about giving them permission to take care of themselves so that they can face life with renewed energy and purpose. Drawing strength from community. Resilience is not a solitary endeavor. It is built within the context of community. Black children must know that they are not alone in their struggles and that they can draw strength from those who support and uplift them. This includes family, friends, mentors, and spiritual leaders who remind them of their worth and potential. 16-year-old Xavier feels the weight of expectations as he navigates being one of the only Black students in his advanced classes. He struggles with imposter syndrome and often wonders if he truly belongs. His community steps in to support him. His pastor offers words of encouragement, his older cousin shares stories of overcoming similar struggles, and his school counselor connects him with a mentorship program. Xavier realizes that he doesn't have to carry the burden alone. His community gives him the resilience to keep pushing forward, knowing that he is supported every step of the way. Community support can take many forms, from attending youth groups to participating in cultural celebrations that reinforce pride and unity. When children are surrounded by people who love them and believe in them, they develop a sense of resilience that cannot be easily shaken. The power of hope and purpose. Resilience is fueled by hope, the belief that a better future is possible. It's about helping children see that, no matter how difficult things may be, there's always room for growth, healing, and change. Instilling hope involves teaching children to dream big and to work toward a vision for their lives that brings them joy and fulfillment. 15-year-old Caden dreams of becoming a civil rights lawyer to advocate for marginalized communities. He is driven by a sense of purpose and a belief that he can make a difference. Even when faced with setbacks, Caden holds on to hope, knowing that his dreams are worth fighting for. His purpose gives him the strength to keep moving forward, even when the road is tough. Helping children find their purpose, whether it's through career aspirations, artistic expression, or community service, gives them a reason to keep going. It shows them that they have a unique role to play in making the world a better place. Conclusion: planting seeds of greatness. As we come to the end of this journey together, it's clear that raising strong, confident, and resilient Black children requires intentionality, love, and a deep understanding of the world they inhabit. It requires a village, a community of people who are committed to uplifting, protecting, and empowering the next generation. Our children deserve to know that they are loved, celebrated, and capable of achieving anything they set their minds to. We have explored how to develop positive self-images, nurture discipline with love, and inspire a sense of purpose. We've discussed the importance of education, cultural pride, and the transformative power of love and affirmation. We've examined the need for resilience, self-care, and hope, and we've celebrated the joy and creativity that make our children shine. Each chapter has been a reminder that our children are the inheritors of a rich legacy of excellence, and that they have the potential to leave their own indelible mark on the world. My reflections on this work. Writing this book has been a labor of love, inspired by the generations who have come before and the young ones who carry our future in their hands. I am deeply moved by the strength, beauty, and potential of Black children, and I am committed to a vision of a world where they can thrive. This work is more than a guide, it is a testament to the power of community and the unyielding spirit of our people. I hope that this book serves as a source of encouragement and a practical resource for parents, educators, and mentors. May it inspire you to be an active participant in the lives of the children you love, to pour into them with intention, and to celebrate their brilliance every day. Our children are extraordinary, and with our support they will rise, shine, and create a world full of possibility and promise. As you close this book, I encourage you to think about the seeds you are planting in the lives of the children around you. Every word of encouragement, every act of love, and every opportunity you provide is a step toward a future where Black children are free to be their most authentic and powerful selves. Let us continue to walk this path together, committed to building a legacy of greatness that will last for generations. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this video meaningful, or comment 1 to pledge to empower your next generation fills me with hope, and I am honored to share this space with you. Together, let's lift our children up with love, purpose, and unwavering support, knowing they are destined to do amazing things. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the TMY Stories channel for more meaningful stories.